Welcome to Offset. Larry and the big man, two-time Stanley Cup champion, Jay Caulfield. I'm Larry Richert. Happy Thanksgiving. And we have, as a special treat for you, Dave Ricchini.
Oh,
Dave?
that's a great treat. You're welcome, guys.
Are you done basting the turkey, Dave?
Listen, I want to thank, speaking of thanks, Brian Hess from One Team Media, Mark Coddington, Ryan Jurgen, who produced this, and our relationship and partnership with my employer from Odyssey, Pittsburgh, Michael Spacciapoli.
Also, the Rourke Automotive Group, being a title sponsor, and also Henderson Brothers with Tom Grealish. Thank you very much, guys.
Hey, before we get into Steelers-Bills, it's a huge game, as you know, on Sunday. What are you most thankful for, big man?
Hey, certainly, like everybody else, family, everything that goes with that. That we're all together. Everybody's in the city of Pittsburgh. Very nice. And that we'll get to do this together, you guys. So very nice. And Brian Hess giving us the opportunity, but certainly family and all together and enjoy it.
He looked at me and laughed. He's like, and this, and I don't know.
Well, because it's normally the answer is about family and things like that, but I don't want to diminish the value of our friendship and what we're doing here.
Well, you know what I've noticed with you, Jay, and we're going to have Mark Recchi on tomorrow, by the way.
Yep.
Three-time Stanley Cup champ and Hockey Hall of Famer, great friend.
Yep.
Is that the relationship that you have with not only Mark, but all the guys you used to play with all these years later? There is such a tremendous value in friendship. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I agree.
That you asked me to be a part of this podcast with Dave. So what are you thankful for, Dave?
The same. I will say that I've never heard anybody say a bad word about Jay.
Well, that's because...
But no, yeah. Thankful for you two, allowing me to be a part of this podcast. I had a lot of fun talking sports to you guys.
Yeah.
And my family, health, happiness.
Yeah, you have a beautiful family, and I agree, family first. And that said, Dave, so people understand, if they don't know you by name, you've produced many, many shows over the years, hockey shows, baseball shows, so you get a great lay of the land. And so you're kind of a technician and help build great shows. So great to have you.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. Can you update my resume for me?
All right, yes, I can get AI to do it for you. Just give me a couple bullet points.
Smart.
All right, let's see what you guys think about. After last week's loss in Chicago, we're looking Sunday afternoon, 4:25, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills come to Acrisure, and suddenly the Steelers really need to win this game to remain relevant.
Yeah, I think you were hoping you didn't have to come to this game and have it be the one that you have to win after Josh Allen got, look, they weren't good the other night against Houston, Buffalo, that is. Their offensive line got manhandled by what Houston did. I think if you're the Steelers, you're looking at that, and hopefully you can get after Josh Allen. But I think he's going to be a man on a mission coming into town. But so do the Steelers need to be that same way. But they were really look, this game, it is going to be what Josh Allen does. We've talked about that before in the past, earlier in the week. As we know, he carries the team. But I think you can get after him, and I'm hoping that's what we kind of see. Because they literally, their offensive line was taken care of by what Houston offered.
And their right tackle got hurt. He's questionable for this week.
Yep.
Sacked 8 times. It's two teams that are desperate. Desperation mode for both teams. It's going to be interesting. I think a little bit of a bad break for the Steelers in that it's going to be back-to-back weeks now that the Bills this Sunday and then the next week, the Ravens coming in basically off a mini bye. They both played Thursday games, so the Bills had a couple extra days to maybe work on that pass protection for him. Another key is going to be Dalton Kincaid. We've seen tight ends have success. We saw it Sunday in Chicago with Colson Loveland. Will he make it back from his hamstring injury? Because that's another weapon that, you're right, the Bills don't have a ton of wideouts. Yeah. They like Khalil Shakur is like kind of their big play guy, but he's more of get it to him in the flats, let him make a play. But if they can get Dalton Kincaid back, and then James Cook, second in the NFL in rushing, I think they're going to lean. Best way to stop a pass rushers is to run the ball. So I think you're going to see a heavy dose of James Cook.
I think I totally agree with that because Cook is that dynamic, right? He's one of the top, as you mentioned, his numbers or where he's at, his ranking. If they don't utilize him more against this kind of team, against the Steelers, and if you watch film and you're looking at film and where you're going to try and exploit the Steelers, look, again, I agree. Cook's going to be utilized and to the nth degree, because I don't think it was last week, and maybe got taken away as the way we saw Josh Allen running all over the place.
Right.
That reminded him, if you watch that game, that reminded of Josh Allen's first couple years in the league, like scrambling to do anything to survive. And I think they're going to do the same thing, Dave. That's what the Steelers got to watch out for, that running game too.
The last time Steelers beat the Bills, remember T.J. Watt had a big game that was, wasn't it the opener on the road a few seasons ago, where he blocked a punt, recovered it, and they seemed to get in Josh Allen's, they disrupted the good things Josh Allen has been able to do ever since. But then that playoff game where they, got smoked a couple of years ago after the blizzard, who knows? It'll be cold at Acrisure, but the Steelers really need to win this game.
So, Larry, just as you're thinking, and we've talked about this all week, but truly, I can't remember the NFL being in this position where really is anybody really, there's a couple teams that have solidified what they do. Everything else seems just wide open, because some of the picks, if you had preseason thinking, who's your Super Bowl contender, it has not panned out, right? So, again, that doesn't mean they can't get there, but it truly is wide open. And I can't remember seeing it on both the NFC and the AFC where nobody's really taking a stranglehold. I should say, I think LA was one team they're showing their mettle, if you will, but the rest of it's wide open, Dave.
Yeah, first time this year the Steelers are on the outside looking in the playoff picture. This is big. The playoffs start now.
I don't think a lot of fans realize, if they don't win in Chicago, they understand that the Ravens were on the heels, and they don't look that great. They're winning easy games, but they're struggling to win those lesser opponent games now. But there they are, and they have the same record, but they have right now the tiebreaker. But the Steelers play them twice, but they need to win this game Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, too, how, does Aaron Rodgers make it all the way back? And you look at the temperature, it's going to be upper 30s, 425 game on Sunday in Pittsburgh, some precipitation possibly in the forecast. How's that going to work? It's not going to affect Josh Allen. It's one thing, if you have Lamar Jackson or maybe a Tua with the Dolphins playing in the cool temps, it might affect them. Josh Allen knows how to play in cold weather games, but how's that injury going to linger on with Aaron Rodgers in maybe not ideal conditions?
I think they got to hope you're not chasing the game. I think it's going to be, you talked about Josh Allen, we talked about James Cook, the tight end Kincaid. The Steelers defense has got to show up big time and really help out the offense to let them, just give them room, not pressure them to have to throw. They have to do that. Let them let their game plan play out a little bit. But if they're chasing the game early, then it's going to make it to your side. How's Aaron Rodgers going to feel? All that goes with it. But I don't want to see him chasing the game at all, because then if they can dictate more if they're not. And if it's close, and Steelers D's on top of it, I don't know, if Josh Allen 2 weeks in a row to be scrambling around the way the way he looked in Houston, the way that offense looked in Houston, I think, Dave, a key thing is you said the extra days they had to prepare for this a little bit, and we'll see. But I prefer the Steelers D to be the key part to this game coming forward. And if they're not, I don't like the way it looks.
So with the games over the past weekend, let's go back to our top five, and I'm having a feeling it's going to change for each of us. Who wants to start? We'll say NFC.
Let's do our predictions. We got to do predictions for.
Oh, we have predictions too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's kind of a good one to pass on, because we've been brutal. We have been. Well, we've been.
Skip that one for this week.
Yeah, we'd like to skip that. We've been absolutely brutal on our.
Let's do it now.
All right, let's get it out of the way.
Dave, to get upset, we're thanking everyone for our friendship. Yes. I don't want to spoil that.
Yeah, Dave, go ahead, buddy.
I'm going to go Bills 24-14. Lower scoring. I think what Buffalo did in the second half against Houston, when they realized they couldn't protect Josh Allen, a lot of quick hits on the outside, it's going to put the Steelers DBs to the test. Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter, James Pierre, Darius Slay, can they make the tackles and then stop in the run? But I just think it's a tough task for the Steelers offense. I know the Buffalo Bills defense has struggled, but I just think it's going to be a tough task for them on Sunday.
All right.
What was your score?
24-14.
Yeah. I've got 27-20 Buffalo. Kind of same thing. I kind of feel like, but I'm hoping this time we're definitely wrong, because it's the defense has got to step up to the level where the pressure on Allen is something there. You know, I'm sure they'll have a set game plan, but you got two teams that are coming in that need it, desperate. But I'm still going to go. There you go. That's my number.
Well, as the public address announcer, I'm going to amp it up Sunday. I'm going to put a lot of pressure. Actually, it's kind of fun because the scoreboard team, their purpose is really to be that, 13th man. So you have the fan base, but everything they do really in game is to try to pump up the crowd to support the team. And I think fans, this is a good matchup. I think fans will show up holiday weekend. And I'm going to say Steelers edge the Bills 28-24.
Do you choose when Renegades played? Is that what you're saying?
It's funny you say that, Dave, because people ask me, who's in charge of playing Renegade? All I can tell you is it's not me, and there's some small group of decision makers that call for Renegade. I point out last game against Cincinnati, they played Renegade, and the Steelers made a big stop and turnover. So
there you go.
I know it doesn't always work that way, but they'll need it to work Sunday so that I can say next week, gee, guys, I was right.
And that's first time this year Jay's gone against the Steelers in the picks.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what, Larry? I'd like you to have a little freedom on the game Sunday and maybe be able to yell out what our injured dog of the week is. Jordan, think. Go ahead. Just say, hey, in between, it's another Steeler first down. And, hey, by the way, our injured dog of the week is going to be so-and-so because the game's going so well. That's what we're hoping for.
That's another Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the way, how far?
See, Larry, just throw it out there, see what they say. I don't think the Renew's have any problem with it at all.
That would probably be my last game. We'll try to avoid that part.
Yeah.
All right, back to the top five.
Yeah.
Who wants to start? We'll start with the NFC.
Okay. I'll start on the NFC. Then Dave or Larry, you got something going on NFC? Okay, my NFC, I thought the Rams of last week and on Sunday night, they were good. They dominated. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to have them as the number one spot. Philly, even though with dissension in the locker room, I'm keeping them. They're still the reigning champs. I'm going to keep them at 2. I got Seattle 3. I think their running game, their receiving core, they move the ball around. I got them there, and kind of like don't like it, but I got to put Green Bay in there just because, and I think I got the 49ers following it up.
Wow.
I think the 49ers, when they're healthy and what they have and the weapons on the offensive side, I think, again, getting healthy, I have, again, Rams 1, Philly 2, Seattle 3, Green Bay 4, and the 49ers 5. Oh, a little comment from the peanut gallery.
Just surprised. I mean, it's okay. I go Rams. Rams obvious 1.
Okay.
Going to Seahawks 2.
Okay.
Eagles 3.
Okay.
I'm going to put the Bears 4th. Larry was the only one to have the Bears on his list last week, if I recall.
Still not going with the Bears. Yeah.
And I'll say this caveat.
You
this
think they're
season,
pretenders?
well, this season are wins. Cowboys, Raiders by 1, Commanders by 1, Saints, Bengals, which was that last second fluke win, Giants by 4, Vikings by 2, and then the Steelers this past Sunday. But remaining schedule, Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers, 49ers, Lions.
Ouch.
So we will find out if they're real or not.
Yep.
Coming up. But 8-3, so they're 4th on my
So
list.
he's just putting them in by 9. I get it.
8-3. They're 8-3. They deserve it. Lions 5th for me. Outside looking in, the Bucs with Baker's uncertainty, Packers, 49ers. Cowboys, if that defense gets going, the offense is legit. If that defense can continue to get better and better, watch out for that.
Yeah. Is that 10? He gave us 10 names.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was top 5.
what was the top 5? You named like all of the NFC.
I did not name the Giants, who were the first team to officially be eliminated by the playoffs.
Yeah,
They're
they
the
had a
first.
big win.
Even the Titans are still in
David just
contention.
covered himself. Like, hey, here's my top 5, but I'm going to give you my second 5.
Let's go back to the Super Bowl picks, Jay.
All right. My picks changed tremendously. I moved the Rams up. I agree with you guys. They just look so good.
Yep.
Sunday night. They look like a complete team. I'm moving the Bears way up to 2. I mean,
Dave, what was
I
this?
know they have.
Who were their wins against again?
Cowboys, Raiders, Commanders, Saints, Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers.
Okay. Yep. I got you.
I get it.
The Philly.
Yeah.
A tragic loss to Jerry Jones.
That is that too.
And then I'm going to move the Seahawks into 4th and the Lions hanging in there at 5th.
Yeah.
Also an upcoming opponent of the Steelers.
That's all
We had, I know you lost track, but we had the same 5, just a different order. You lost track of mine. We had a 7-5 in different order.
Yeah.
Jay mentioned that I had 30 teams listed.
No, but
All right. That said, let's go to
the AFC. All important.
AFC. I mean, what do you think? The Chiefs won. There were some strange wins last week. Did it change your top 5?
Slightly. I'm only naming 5 teams. New England won still. I mean, the record speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens, I know they have not been impressive, but you always say you don't want to be playing your best football at this. You want to be playing your best football going into the playoffs, and they've still won 5 straight games.
Yep.
So I'm going to go Ravens 2. Denver had a bye. They stay at 3. Colts, even despite the loss, I mean, it showed that Daniel Jones can play in a big game outside, because after he lost a game in Pittsburgh, like, can he play outdoors? Well, he played well enough to win in Kansas City, so they're 4th, and I have the Chiefs 5th.
Yeah.
Bills on the outside.
Yeah. I've got New England 1. Same with them.
Okay.
I have Denver 2, Indy 3, and I have Buffalo 4. I don't know why they looked that bad, but I kept them at 4, and I have KC 5. I moved them in, and I agree with you about Baltimore. They're good points about it, but I think KC though. I'm going to say some teams they're certainly missing some things, but all they want to do is get into the dance kind of thing, because they have all that leadership. They've played so much football, regular season game. If they can get themselves in position, you got to watch out. There's dynamic leadership.
And that's leading into the Cowboys game today, the your KC pick. So they lose at Dallas, and that could be.
True. All right, that's right. Thanks.
Hopefully you listened to it early.
Okay, that's right. I mean, look, we get a lot of things. I'm still staying with it. I'm going to stay with it. That's true. That's true. Got to get home and watch football and eat our turkey.
Top 5 in the AFC for me, New England. New England is, boy, they're hot. They're playing well, and they're overcoming adversity. I still have Denver 2nd, the Bills 3rd, and the Colts 4th. And I hate to do it, but I'm moving up KC to 5th too. So those are your top 5 from the NFC and AFC.
Very good.
It's likely to change again by next week.
By the second meal today.
Yes. There's three big games. All right. Time for the big man blitz. After we found out what Jay's thankful for, we're going to find out what he's sour about.
Yeah, this one, and you had to dig deep to want to watch any of this game. It was the Arizona game last week, right? Dave, who was Arizona playing last week?
It was the Jaguars.
Yeah, they're playing the Jaguars. So it depends what side of the fence you're on, but I'm looking at this game in Arizona. I've always said you go to OT, and if you don't, what I should have looked at, they had the ball second. So they know the Jaguars got a field goal, so now you've got 4 downs to play with. That's one of the reasons almost you defer to have that ability to find out what you have to do, and you've got 4 downs to do it. They get themselves in the middle of the field, pushing, they're moving up, and I believe it was 3rd and 4. All right, so in my mind, I'm thinking, you got 2 downs to get 4 yards. So what do? They drop back and try and throw a 10-yard slant, and it's squeezing it in. So that's a bad play. Now you put yourself in a bad spot. It's 4th and 4. You gave up the ability of why it's that you have 4 downs to play with. It wasn't even close. It was covered. To me, I think, again, if you're going to defer and you're doing it for the reason that you got 4 downs to play with this, and this is what the theory is, then why would you do that? There's got to be, they were able to move the ball, they could run the ball, whatever it was, and they gave it away. So that's my big man blitz. My big man blitz, and again, it depends what side you're on that. But if that's your team, you just put yourself, then he throws a 40-yard pass downfield, and it's incomplete. They gave away the leverage that they had by having 4 downs. So teams, I've watched this multiple times. I've seen it a couple times, and they talk about the reason to defer is because you get 4 downs to play with, and none of them have done it, have used it. Those 2 teams that I watched. And again, I'm going to say, if you had, whatever your belief is, or what you were rooting for, or whether you have money on a game, you're living there and you're looking at the TV wondering why they did it. That's my big man blitz. I don't think if you defer and you got 4 downs to play with, then be smart about it. Right, Larry?
I would agree.
That game in Pittsburgh got a .0001 rating. Jay was the one person watching the game.
That's what I said.
Jags.
I said you had to dig real deep, but there was a lot of good games, but you had to dig deep, and I was going back and forth between games and where that meant the most for me personally, and I flipped to that game, and then That's when you move the dogs away from you. They're crowding you and everything's good. You're patting them on the back. But when it's going sideways, just get everybody, you need your space. That game did it. That's my big man blitz.
All right, that is the big man blitz. Now, this is your comfort zone. Covering the Penguins. I mean, nobody's covered more games than you. Excited about the new energy we saw at the beginning of the season. The Pens go to Sweden for the Global Summit for a couple of games against the Predators. They come home with 3 out of 4 points.
Yep.
Okay, and then something's different. They can't hold on to leads, and it's been very frustrating as a fan to watch. What's going on?
I think I look at it in a couple of ways. If you look at their first 10 games, and we're thrilled about it, 7-2-1, new coaching staff, and everybody looked like they're enjoying the game and enjoying a hockey life, if you will. The second 10 game, they were 3-4-3. And to your point, Larry, games getting away from them late, all that goes with that. 4 losses in overtime, whether it be in overtime or shootout, and you're giving points up, and we know like this all. Now you're going to start hearing the words like, the points you give away in October and November come back to haunt you in April, and they're starting to pile up a little bit that way. I do believe, and I do believe with that travel schedule, and I think the Penguins have done a great. They're not leaning on that as an excuse. But you had 4 days between games. You fly on Monday, 5 games, play on a Friday night, play Sunday, fly back 5 days before your next game, just to recover. You're either going to get, we talk about it even on TV and throughout all the years in Dave producing shows. When you travel west and you come back, we always say after a long road trip, the toughest game is that first game back. Well, they did. When they came back from Sweden, they laid an egg in that game. So bad atmosphere. They played a better game. Their second one when they came back against Seattle, I think, but still lose it late. Well, with that, I think the injuries, the travel have caught up to them. They've lost a key guy up top with Raquel. They lost Brazeau on the second line. They're the things and why the Penguins are finding themselves, getting on the downside, if you will. You need you guys that you're bringing up. Your depth is being tested in the minors. You're not getting production, so it leads to a record of 3-4-3. And they need to you're getting into the weekend. It's Thanksgiving. Here's Thanksgiving today. We know where you need to be at, but you don't want to be on the slide. They've had great goaltending, all the things that have gone with it, but they need to pick themselves up. And the guys who are getting the opportunity is what Dan Muse is talking about. Everybody would say it. You get a look because somebody's out. You need to make the most of it, and some guys haven't been able to produce.
I'll ask. So Dan Muse's first year as head coach, is that something he has to learn about how to deal with that travel schedule and West Coast trip early on? And
how's he handling that as the new coach?
Yeah, I think first of all, great questions and a point, Larry. I think you're going to go by what they set up for you to do and how you need to, monitor the guys' time on the ice. All these guys are driven differently. Like Sidney Crosby probably doesn't want to be off the ice, maybe a day off, and then he doesn't like to be off of it too much. Even as a player, when you had a 3-day break and you come back on the 4th day, you feel like you haven't skated. Your legs, everything goes with it. So they have a way of handling that part. I think he's getting tested now and he was really direct after the Seattle game, really direct, and not happy about it. And I think that was a good thing because he was straightforward about their lack of finishing games, Larry, to your point, not being able to close it out, not being able to get that extra point. They only picked up 1 out of 4. That's what stirred it up last weekend. And when you start to do that, it's not like a participation trophy, like, hey, we're glad everybody likes you, everybody's doing well. He knows you need to start producing and get points so you're falling down the ladder and you're falling down quickly. So I think it's a mixed day that they get the help from everybody around, how you've done it in the past, what have you done. Now, the Sweden thing is something completely different. Yeah. But still, you'll go back over past history, maybe what other teams have done to make sure the guys have energy when they come back. And I personally thought their legs, when they came back, their legs were there early. It could be just your mind, the mindset. It's not only tired legs, but tired mind, and decision-making wasn't right when they got back from Sweden.
Yeah, a lot of fans, pretty pumped up about the start, obviously. It's like, okay, hopefully they'll be able to find a way to turn that tide and lock down games because they're getting leads.
Yep.
Except for last Friday when, I was on the road. I kept looking, I get the updates. 1, 2, 3,
quick, yeah.
4.
That was a whack. Yeah, that was the one where and then Sheila was the goaltender of choice that night. And you can look at it. It wasn't truly like, it wasn't one where he wasn't as sharp either. So they made a move. They pulled and they put Murashov in, and Murashov gets to start the following night. And he looked solid again, too. So, yeah, Larry, I think their special teams has kept them in the play, in the hunt. Their power play has been ranked number 1, which has been outstanding because they were all the games they've lost because of losing the special teams battle over the years. They've been good in both special teams units. So that's one thing, if you're getting that effort, that's going to keep you in games. They just need to right the ship as far as, like you said, closing games out, not giving little mental mistakes in the NHL cost you, and guys are too good.
Another milestone for Crosby, 500th multi-point game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I saw the stat. He has 100 more multi-point games than he does 0-point games. Think about that. Just over 400 scoreless games.
Yeah.
Third fastest to do it. So
Larry's pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
Close it.
Dave, I don't know if you can pull up the numbers right now, like where we're at, but as far as, did we ever think anybody would come close to catching like Mario Lemieux as a point leader in the history of the franchise? Nobody, you would have never thought that would be something that would come around. And here you've got a guy that's longevity, played a long time, and one of the greatest players to ever play the game. What's the total?
Depending on when you're listening to this, he's about 13 away.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Yeah.
You feel pretty confident that's going to happen, obviously.
Yeah, I think and he makes the point too. I think Mario, you can look this up too, Dave. Mario did it in 900 and some odd games.
Sid was you're
first
right.
to say.
He was the first to say that.
Mm-hmm. And I think
915.
915, and Sid's at what right now?
Oh, it's another page, Jay.
That's another page. Still, 915 games to be at the number that he's at.
1373.
1373. So it's amazing to me.
Oh.
But he says it right away. It's crazy. It is crazy. I maybe only shot 900, 1,300 points, or maybe only 1,300 shots in practice, let alone have 1,300 points.
Oh, my.
We were fourth-line guys practicing. We weren't carried on.
When you do that comparison, it's even more impressive. Mario,
Yeah.
Sid,
he says it right away.
he does, and that's because he's who he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to give himself accolades.
It is so wild, and I've talked about this on our show a lot. To have players come through and deliver on what that's expected of them is unbelievable. And the Penguins have had this, and that's why you've got 5 cups. Just their greatest players and who they rely on the most have delivered.
Well, speaking of Penguins and greats, Mark Recchi, Hockey Hall of Famer, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, will be featured a special offset that'll drop tomorrow. In the meantime, before we go, guys, let's talk a little college football. This is the end of the regular season for most teams. You still have a few oddity games like Army, Navy, and those kind of things. But for Pitt, after they lost to West Virginia and then lost again to Louisville and were 2-2, not many people would have even imagined they'd have a chance to win 9 games, potentially get to the ACC championship game, but they got a tall order on Saturday when Miami's Hurricanes come to Acrisure for a noon kick.
Plus with the help they need too. I mean, last week, SMU and Louisville, that was kind of the chance, and SMU just hammered.
SMU
Louisville.
looked so good in that game.
Yeah.
Virginia.
They were off. But I will say this. I mean, Virginia plays Virginia Tech. It's a rivalry game, and we know, ask Ohio State about rivalry games.
They got a new coach down there. Virginia Tech's going to take over. Do you know his name?
I don't know. I never heard of him. All I know is that the buyout price got lowered to $9 million, so it makes me happier as a Penn State fan. So thank you, Hokie
James
fans.
Franklin made a dramatic appearance, flying in on that jet. He was greeted by.
So to your point, though, to your point, with him he's there. He's going to be in the building. He's going to be.
He was there last week too. It didn't do him any help. So
well, you know what? To your point,
we need that. We need a little bit of jump.
That's a rivalry game, and really anything can happen. And maybe his presence does. They want to show Coach, hey, I can play too. I mean, there's real motivation.
It could happen. SMU has to travel to Cal. So it's a long plane ride. They're both about 10 to 14 point spreads, so anything can happen. You can see it. But you mentioned, and Andrew talked about this on Tuesday too, Miami. It's funny how Miami can't make the ACC playoff game, but if they win this, they're essentially in the playoffs. Or they can't make the ACC championship game, but if they win this weekend, they're essentially in the playoffs just based on their ranking. And Pitt, listen, if Pitt wins, even if they don't make the ACC championship game, if Pitt wins and enough things work out, they could get there. This is a big win.
Yeah, the percentage is lower, but it's not impossible at all. And at very least, if they win, which is going to be tough against Miami, they got a lot to play for too, and they're really talented. But if Pitt finds a way to win, they're going to be 9-3, and they'll get a really good bowl game, maybe in a warm weather city instead of going to Detroit like we did last year.
So do you feel like
beautiful city.
Okay, so you feel like if you get a bowl game and it's like before Christmas, is that like punishment, or is that more punishment? Yeah, is that not?
Yeah.
If you're remember back in the day, if you played that early of a bowl game,
right?
Do bowl games? Do you really deserve a bowl game? If your record, what gets you in? How many wins?
6 wins. Penn State wins, beats Rutgers.
So did they? Okay, so that's my point. Does that deserve a bowl game? In all honesty, it's diminished what the bowl games are about.
And to be honest,
what a bowl game should be about.
And Jay, remember, this is the same guy that was talking about the Cardinals-Jaguars game just like 5 minutes ago. So
did they
Jay probably punches those bowl games.
I didn't know they played.
Larry, that's a good line. I love that. I do love that.
Man.
That's what DirecTV was for in the NFL package.
People forget back when Pitt won the ACC championship in Charlotte. Then they got this great bowl game, right? Kenny Pickett chose not to play in that game. So we're in an era now.
Guys.
Now, what changes the dynamic is the playoffs. So as long as you've got a shot at a national championship in any other bowl game, a lot of those guys are opting out to play for fear of getting injured because they're trying to set themselves up for the NFL.
Okay, so what might be changing that, though? The NIL deals might be changing. If you're getting money from that university, there's no way that could start
That's a new wrinkle.
Yeah, that could. But
that's a great point.
I understand a player you're thinking, but at the same time, I'm with you. I mean, it'll be interesting how that plays itself out with NIL money.
By the way, guys, I found out today, I talked to a gentleman whose son plays in Florida in high school, and they have, and I don't want to reveal the player because he is now on a team in the ACC, not Pitt, who received as a high school player, as a senior, $900,000.
Yeah.
And the caveat, though, is we're taking a risk on you, but you have to commit to us through your college playing days. So risk, reward. Some players are making a lot more, but they're taking a chance, and they're also getting these specialty player cards made, And so companies it's almost like a business on the side for some of these companies. It's almost like gambling. Well, it is gambling. Yeah. They're gambling on this young man to be a star, and for $900,000, they get him for his whole college career. So that money, that does change. I guess if I'm paying you and you say, well, I'm not playing in a bowl game because I'm going to the NFL, what can they
do? It's wild. 220. He's saying, you're going to give me $225,000 a year. I'm going to play that when he might go, damn, I had a really good first or second year. I want, when's the renegotiation going to start in that too? But he's signing off on a foot. Imagine that. Like the numbers we're talking about.
You bring up a great point. So players now may not be able to opt out like they used to if they're getting paid.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be. I think that's why it's going to play out a little bit. So
that's why Dave's here, because he can't give up his NIL money.
It's the only reason I keep showing up, Larry.
I get it's for the love of the game.
So I do know as far as that NIL stuff, and let's go to North Carolina when Bill Belichick got hired there, and they took Joe Lombardi off of a show that he did. It was a betting show out of Vegas.
Neeson.
Yeah, Neeson. Yeah.
Neeson.
So they hired him, took him off TV. He's the cap guru, like GM in college football. When did you ever think that was going to be the case?
A lot of schools are doing that.
Obviously, maybe they didn't handle it too well.
Andrew Luck's the GM at Stanford now. I mean, he's basically the general manager.
It's kind of it's wild where we're at and where it's going and how. But I think you're like Larry. You said they're finding ways to restructure their deals that they're offering. Okay, you want the money? You can't leave for 4 years.
Well, Pitt, Miami, That's Saturday at noon at Acrisure, then 4:25. It's Steelers, Bills, a big football weekend here. And before we go, I do want to give Terry Smith a shout out at Penn State. I don't know if he's going to be the permanent coach, but I just as a fan, enjoyed him getting some love for getting a home win and the crowd doing that for him. Obviously, he was very emotional about it, and that was good to see.
Yeah, senior night, the players on the field afterward were holding up the Hire Terry Smith signs, so he's got the support from the players. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, because we've talked multiple times throughout on this podcast, kind of who's the leading candidate, and it's changed from week to week. It was Matt Rule, it was Kurt Signetti, and these guys keep re-upping with others. The list is, I mean, Terry Smith's got a legit chance now. Now, I think this will all be settled pretty quick. I don't think they want to go deep into December without having made a decision. I mean, you saw recruiting Kiffin at Ole Miss. He said
recruiting basically starts now.
Not just that, yeah, the recruiting. Well, first off, Penn State has to try to get some of the recruits back that decommitted, and then the transfer portal opens up January 2nd. So that's going to be a key too.
Does Terry Smith give a...
Yeah, you're right.
Will he help bring back the recruits that committed before?
Well, that's the other thing too, is if he's not the guy, does James Franklin try to get him to go to Virginia Tech? I mean, listen, the ties...
Because he's a great recruiter.
That's what he said. So maybe he was the guy that was in touch.
Him and, Bob Palko's been involved in that process. But Terry Smith, the reason he's there, outside of being an alum and a great player, is his relationships and being able to recruit.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens if John Gruden doesn't take the job.
We'll see. Dave, by the way, being Thanksgiving, and Larry, you're probably about to bring it up. Like, what were you hoping we would mention? What's your little side dish?
Personally, I'm curious about your favorite. We all know turkey. Jay mentioned base in the turkey, but your favorite side dishes, and maybe just your favorite Thanksgiving tradition.
Larry, you start first out today on this one.
I know this is going to sound really basic, but just a good fresh cut corn, with the right mixture, sauteed, and that's a good side. I mean, the stuffing and all that, it varies, and mashed potatoes, but I know that's corny, but yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Jay, I know he's kind of a connoisseur. If you see his dip selections for game days.
Yeah, game days are very bright. That's right. Football games, I can't believe I'm 12 weeks in or been through 12 weeks of, and then sometimes you just got to go with a winner. Whatever the Steelers win, I'll stay with that one. But for me, on Thanksgiving, I agree. I love, corn is going to be very good. But I'm a mashed potato guy with corn that's prepared right. And then the one dish, Alicia, I never was a sweet potato person before when I was younger. And my wife Alicia makes this. It's a sweet potato dish with butter, and then you put the brown sugar on, and that melts, and you put the little mini marshmallows over top of it. Freaking phenomenal! It's phenomenal. I love that with a good. I'm the white turkey. I'm the turkey breast guy, so that's what I like. But that sweet potato dish for me, Dave, and it's got to be done. I like to eat around 2:00. I'm a 2:00 guy.
2:00.
Oh yeah.
So one meal or two meals?
What the?
No, that's because
winter leftovers.
Dave, Larry, so I like 2:00 because the game
halftime of the first
football going on. I get football going on. You got to go in between, and my granddaughters, my Violet, little granddaughter, 2-year-old, and little grandson JC. They'll be at the house with my daughters and their husbands, and my one husband, the other one's fiance. So that's our plan. But I love those dishes that I just gave you. That sweet potato dish, and I never thought I'd say it, but that's what I'm saying.
Wow,
Dave?
Stuffing's my favorite. Go green bean casserole, broccoli casserole.
Wow.
Deviled eggs.
No.
He does this like he did the 5 picks of the NFC. You ask for one, you get
He
5.
reeled off 4.
No, I said my one, though.
You said you shucked corn.
No. I said to Larry and Dave, I did say, though, but the sweet potato dish was my one. That's the one that I would miss if we didn't have it.
You also said mashed potatoes and
turkey I love
breast.
it. I said, I'm a potato. I like a potato. I'm like meat and potato person. I like that. But the sweet potato dish I like the best.
Dessert, I'm a traditionalist. I just like a good pumpkin pie with tons of whipped cream.
Yep.
Same.
No, I'm like, I like cherry pie and apple pie.
Cherry, apple.
Yeah. One of each, one slice of each.
One of my memories, my dad's family came from the north side, is my grandmother drinking a 6-pack Iron City, smoking Marlboros, and then falling asleep after dinner, and us trying to put stuff in her mouth while it's.
No, I get that. So for all the Italians out there, so when I was growing up, and my mom's side was Italian, all Italian, but we'd have all the turkey and everything went with that. But we'd also have
Pasta.
pastina. Then we'd also have
Yes.
whether it be homemade gnocchis, homemade raviolis, or homemade always. I mean, so that was always something. I don't do that anymore, but that's what we did before when I was young.
It's never a bad thing.
No, it's
Starting today, 4 meals in 3 days. 2 today, 1 tomorrow, 1 Saturday. So when we take next week, you're going to have to scoot a little bit more for me to get past.
Understood. Dave Ricchini, thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
Happy
Dave.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And a special edition of Offset tomorrow with Mark Recchi. You won't want to miss that. In the meantime, we want to thank you first and foremost. We also want to thank Mark Coddington, Ryan Jurgen, who produce this wonderful podcast, and Brian Hess from One Team Media, and Michael Spacciapoli from Odyssey Pittsburgh.
Also, Dave Rourke and the Rourke Automotive Group. Thank you so much. They have their new building in Cannonsburg. Also, lifetime state inspections with the Rourke Advantage, and also lifetime oil changes, engine warranty, and also Tom Grealish with Henderson Brothers. And Larry, you can add to that, but certainly both Tom and Dave, thank you very much.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Henderson Brothers, they've been around a long time, since 1893. Whether it's your business, your family, your future, more than an insurance company, they're a partner. So experience the power of partnership with HendersonBrothers.com. Great fun, guys. Looking forward to a big weekend. Don't overshop. That's for my wife on Black Friday. Meanwhile, Larry and the Big Man, Offset, that's a wrap.